Hey guys, Analog Man here for another new Machinedramon deck profile. Technically my updated deck profile compared to my previous one. I've made a lot of changes since the last one. The last one worked for a bit of time, but then my group essentially figured out a way to get around a lot of the stuff in the deck. So I had to kind of work around how essentially they did to work around this deck essentially. So I'm back now to present what I think is the most streamlined version that I could possibly build this to. And as I mentioned before, I want this deck to really succeed. And I've been seeing a lot of videos and profiles saying that this deck is kind of like tier 1.5-ish, but honestly, I believe it's tier 1. It just needs the right cards. So let's actually get into the deck profile so you can see what I mean by all the stuff in it. So I actually purposely hid these eggs to keep it a surprise, but we do run 4 red eggs. Yes, these are here just to set up your option cards. The way that this deck works, I'm trying out red essentially because red is the only color that has essentially all the best removal. You can say that black has some really good ones now, but before Onslaught and Ultimate Flare and Gewalt, red was your go-to for removal, like for every deck. Like people would tech in red into weird things. So these red eggs are just here to trigger our option cards, and if you think about it, a lot of the cards in this deck don't really require you to evolve as much. My previous build did require evolution, but here I've made it so almost all my rookies are hard plays and can be hard played, so this works perfectly. But yeah, Force Akudomon or honestly any red baby works. The thing is that as long as you have these, you will be guaranteed to trigger them. So yeah. Anyway, let's actually get into the deck. First, let's actually put this back first. Okay, so first off, we're running, of course, well, of course, 4 Hagurumons from the new Classic Collection, EX1. This card is still really solid in this deck. The fact that lets you trash any Digimon card with Machine or Cyborg. Basically, this entire deck is full of them. So no matter what, you will get that draw too when you hard play this guy, and it's really sweet. Plus, evolving a Gardramon on top is always very nice. But you do not run less than 4 of this. If you're playing Machinedramon and you're playing less than 4 of this, I don't know what you're doing, but it's not gonna work because you need to discard and draw as much as possible. And then the last rookies we actually run are actually 4 normal Hagurumons from BT2. This is just there to essentially memory choke and just start kind of spamming the board. The fact that it's a really low cost also helps a lot with that. So just keeping this at 4 helps you kind of like see it as often, and it can be a good discard for this as well if you don't see any of the machines in your hand. So very nice. We only run 8 rookies actually. Before I was running up to 12, but here we're running a more minimal setting because some of the level 4s I'm about to show you are easily hard plays, so you don't really need to like evolve on top, and it would be kind of dumb to evolve it anyway, so it's whatever. Anyway, so then for level 4s, we run the 4 Gardromons, of course, and then I'm trying something new. 3 Mechanories. Originally, I was trying this at 4, but it kind of bricked a little bit, so I've kept it at exactly 7 now with 4 and 3. This guy, of course, you really need him because he's a blocker, and the fact that his inherent ability lets you just draw 2, which is really, really nice. Mechanori, for anybody that's played against any deck that has tech this in, this card is incredibly annoying and broken because it can just hard stop rookie rush if they can't essentially get rid of it. And the fact that it's like, it's 6,000, it's super big. So unless it's a level 5 or higher, it's not getting over this. But yeah, we only run 7 level 4s for now to kind of keep it a little bit lean. But yeah, then let's move on to our level 5s. This is where I've changed the list most because since the deck relies on level 5s, you have to have very specific ones and have enough different ones to give Machinedramon that +5 memory so that you can go back to like 5 or 4. So this is how I have my ratios now. I have 2 of the new Andromon because he gives, of course, blocker on your opponent's turn. 2 of Metal Tyranno because, of course, he gives reboot on opponent's turn. And then 2 of the new Metal Momimon so that I can pop their board when I swing into them. Originally I was doing this kind of like how the Japanese meta had been doing it, where I did 3, 2, 1. But I feel like having an even number of these makes it a little bit better to see it consistently. So I'm keeping them as is now, and so far it's worked out very well. I actually really like this because I see him a lot, I see him a lot, I see him a lot. It's like with five, you don't really see them, and it's weird. Like I know that that's how the deck's supposed to work out, where it's supposed to be individual numbered ones for Machinedramon, but I feel that having more searchers is a little bit more beneficial. But yeah, anyway, then we run one of the old BT1 Secret Metal Greymon. Originally, I wasn't actually the weirder thing. I wasn't originally gonna run this, but having this actually isn't too bad because giving that extra 13 boost and then combining it with the other red Megadramon, you're giving Machinedramon 5,000, so you're boosting him up to 16,000, and not many things can get bigger than that unless they're like boosted, and even then, unless they're playing black, they're not keeping it on their turn, so you're going to be able to swing through with this combined with that other red level 5, so it's pretty solid. Then we run, of course, the new Metal Greymon from EX1 that gives piercing if it's a machine type. You gotta have at least one copy of this card. Originally, I was running two and two of the other one, but it kind of bricked the deck a little bit, and the fact that you had duplicates kind of messed up the whole synergy with Machinedramon, so I reduced this down to one, and it seemed to actually work very well as well, so yeah. Then we actually added back in one Volcanomon because, of course, he gives that extra security one. And I mean, he's not too bad to evolve on top of and kind of swing in because then you can combo that with Guardramon and just draw and then just make Machinedramon. It's honestly not too bad. Then we run one Megadramon for blocker, of course. We run one Gigadramon to boost by 2,000 on their turn. Then we also play we play Megadramon because he can give plus 2,000 on your opponent's turn. And then for the last level 5, we have the new Megadramon, which on play, actually, I've actually had to do this effect once or twice, and it's really cool. It just deletes rookies, basically, and it's not too bad. It's a 7 cost, so it's whatever. And then, of course, because it gives anything with machine security +1. So combo that with the other ones, with especially Volcanomon, you're hitting for like 3 security, and then combined with this one, you basically are swinging for at least 14 to 16,000. So it's pretty solid. For level 5s, we're running a very lean amount. This is exactly, I believe, 2, 4, 6, exactly 13. And it's the thing is that when I was working on this deck with a friend, shout out to my friend Dan, he was helping me figure out the ratios, and he had his friend running about 15 of these, and I personally I didn't like that many because it kind of, I mean, I get that the deck discards a lot of these, but at the same time the whole point is to do precision mills. That's my philosophy on this deck, is to get precision millings. And with how it was before with the overabundance of level 5s, I mean, you can draw, but the problem is that you're going to probably deck out before you even get to Machinedramon sometimes, especially if they're bottom decked from shuffling. So it's just really rough. And having it at exactly like maybe 12 to 13, in my case 13 right now, it feels just right for now. But I mean, I'm open to changing it if it doesn't work out. But for the last few testing matches I've done it's actually worked out very well. So I'm going to keep it at 13 for now. But yeah, that's all the level 5s we run, and now let's get on to the main guy of the show. We, of course, run 4 Machinedramons. Super busted card, can stop himself from dying. The fact that he just gets all the abilities from these level 5s by equipping, and he puts you back by 5 memory, so he's basically a 7 cost every time. So he basically costs as much as a level 5 half the time if you do it right. So yeah, of course, don't skimp on this guy. He's the main dude of the deck, so gotta do it like that. Then that's actually all the level 5s that we're running, or my bad, level 6s, because the main goal of this deck is to make Machinedramon, and you shouldn't be focusing on making Gundramon or anything else. As I mentioned before, he is the main star of the show, and you should be focusing on it, and by doing that, it actually helps ensure that you get exactly what you're trying to do. This is where we go into the option cards. This is where my deck will differ from a lot of people. I'm trying something new, especially since recently I built Agumon, and I really liked how a lot of the Agumon decks are starting to run 4 Atomic Blasters, which is why I run Atomic Blasters. This card, honestly, it's really nice because it helps keep your opponent's board cleared until you can make Machinedramon. It's it's kind of my philosophy that most decks I need removal so I can help kind of control the board. Especially with this deck, it doesn't really have much removal, so having this in actually helps kind of mitigate the issues that I've been having with this deck, where it's just too slow sometimes. So having this keep everything kind of calm and cool while you kind of wait on your stuff is really nice. Um, then the other red card we're actually running, this is also because of Agumon, but I've been testing this card out and it's really amazing. Lightning Joust. This card is super dumb, especially on Machinedramon, because combining it with the other, the Megadramon and the Volcanomon and this together, because obviously your security is going to be pretty low by the time you bring this guy out. So you're essentially guaranteed 4 security swinging in. So you're essentially swinging like a Jessmon into their security, and the fact that it can't die, and it can reboot. So it's just going to keep swinging, and the fact that it gets boosted too. So you can boost him past the 16,000 I mentioned before and put him up to almost 8, like at least 18 or more. So it's just really awesome how this card works, and the fact that it's a 1 cost and it's free as long as you have the red egg. So it's really nice having these. Like, I've actually won matches with this and in my Agumon, because it's just, this card is just so broken. Like, most people don't ever see it coming either, and they're like, oh, what's it gonna do? Oh wait, my whole security's gone. And it's just really nice how it works. Then this is where we go into the black option. We run 4 ultimate connections because since we're running 13 level 5s, we can discard them. And also, very nice thing is that in security, this thing acts like a hammer spark. As long as you have a level 5 in hand, which you are like 99% of the time assured to have, this will trigger and you'll go to your turn, and then you'll just laugh at your opponent as they just got hammer spark, basically. Then of course, this is something new I've been testing, and it actually helps speed the deck up a lot. So it goes from like a very slow black kind of like stall deck to something much faster, akin to maybe black blockers right now, where it's a little bit faster. I'm running 3 black memory boosts. I tested 2 originally, but I just could not search out anything half the time. So I bumped this up to 3, and it has done wonders. It just, you can grab everything you need by maybe turn 2 or 3, especially if you have one in hand, starting hand. This card clutches matches for you, especially with the extra memory, because of course your opponent knows you're playing Machinedramon, so they're going to try and memory choke you so you can't play him, because all you really need is 2 memory, and then you can just pass it over to them for 5. But with this, it's like you are guaranteed at least 3 memories, so it's just really nice how this works out. Then that's basically all the options that we have. Since I'm running a mix of it, it's kind of weird sometimes seeing the red and black mixed together, but it's really solid. For Tamers, right now, as of this recording, EX1 still hasn't come out. We only have like 3 more days before it comes out. But this also helps speed up the deck. For Analog Boys, I have 2 proxies, of course, as you can see. This card is super dumb, like dummy, like epic in this deck, because the fact that you can just search 3 cards and then discard them helps this deck so much. So you can just grab your removal, and then you have like 2 other level 5s, and they just get ditched. And the fact that this also gives you a memory if a level 5 or higher dies. Of course, a level 5 with Digivolution sources, but it's just really nice because it gives you 1 memory and it lets you hatch an egg. So so if like so if you haven't hatched like a red egg yet because you haven't drawn into your red removal, or you're trying to like keep it from your opponent so he doesn't know what you're playing, this will just trigger it, and then you're like, okay, Atomic Breath next turn, and you just wreck their board. But yeah, Analog Boy, absolute must at 4. I've seen decks not running this, and I don't like the idea of that. This card is super broken in this deck and needs to be in this deck. And then for the final Tamer, or final card of the deck, we just run 1 Izzy and Joe, because you do like that extra 2 memory, and hitting into security is pretty nice. And the fact that every Digimon on board here is a black Digimon, so if they die, you can just tap this to draw 1, so also very nice. But yeah, no, that's the deck profile for Machinedramon. This is my updated one so far. This is the one that I found that has worked the best so far against a lot of the newer decks, because everything in Classic Collection gets kind of boosted. Like every existing deck plus the new stuff helps boost existing decks, and they do speed up a bit more. And Machinedramon does kind of have a hard time keeping up, especially since a black kind of blocker deck essentially once you get them out. But it's like with these improvements, I'm trying to speed it up and just kind of swing as fast as possible. Essentially, it's a rush deck, and then Machinedramon will just come out and just kind of hold it out for a second and then swing for game. Essentially, is what my intention is at this point. But hopefully we will get more support in BT7 with Chaos Dramon, and then in BT8 we also get that new Metal Greymon that helps de-digivolve when you evolve on top of it, and also the fact that EX2 also has a new Tamer and a new Guardramon for us to tinker around with, and also the new Cyberdramon that helps de-digivolve stuff when you're swinging, which is really nice. So this deck can only get better and better, and I honestly hope it gets better. And maybe down the line, honestly, we get an Analog Man, Tamer finally. Might help this deck boost up even harder. So hopefully that happens in the future. But for now, this honestly, I believe this is kind of the best way to help speed up Machinedramon, and hopefully it can keep up with the hybrids once BT7 comes out too. But yeah, anyway, thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you thought of the deck. Also, if you have any ideas for this deck, let me know, because I'd love to improve this deck, and it is the main deck of my channel aside from security control. So I want to keep improving it and make it as strong as possible, and then show you guys how it goes. But anyway, thanks for watching. See you next time.